Thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Facebook, it's Real Talk with Saieed Ali. On YouTube, it's TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you will know when we go live. So, viewers, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has again responded to criticism on the scrapping of the demerit point system. She stated that the UNC was elected on a mandate based on promise and intend to fulfill them. Kamala.
The demerit points system, again, I see some persons are not too happy with that, but again, we campaigned on that. And we got the mandate, so we will proceed with the mandate we were given. And if you have evidence to tell me the demerit system helped in road safety, I will welcome it. But thus far, we have found no evidence that the demerit system reduced the road traffic incidents or persons on the road, the accidents and so on. We have found no evidence. In fact, the evidence thus far is to the contrary. So I look forward, if you have any, I will welcome.
Calling it a double-down jeopardy, the PM also added that there was no evidence that the system reduced road fatalities.
We'll proceed because I have a firm view and we are governed by the rule of law, and that tells us you must not have a double jeopardy. That is to say, first, you are sued. You're found guilty in a courthouse and you have to pay whatever you have to pay. And then on top of that, now you come with the point system, which ends up in many cases to take away a person's license, and those are persons that need their license in order to earn a livelihood. So it's a double jeopardy, and the law is frowns upon and is totally against double jeopardy. Yes, we'll find other ways to improve road safety for citizens, but we are not of the view that that system of demerits is palatable in law. In fact, it is offensive, in my respectful view, to the whole system of justice. Yes, Minister?
So, viewers, meanwhile, opposition leader Penelope Beckles has again criticized the decision to scrap the demerit point system. Speaking at a media briefing earlier today, Beckles, there should be a review of the system. Listen to this.
Road safety is a matter of public life and death. While no one enjoys being ticketed, the system can save lives and promote discipline. The opposition would not support a total elimination of the demerit point system, especially with no alternative to date. But of course, we would be willing to entertain a review. We urge the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to continue encouraging drivers to exercise caution on our nation's roads. We stand in solidarity with agencies, of course, such as Arrive Alive and other like-minded agencies.
Senator Al-Rawi, who played a key role in developing and implementing the system, agreed that abolishing demerit point would be short-sighted, but stressed that the penalties for traffic offense would still exist in law. He said the removal of demerit point isn't necessary. The removal of the sanction, listen.
The removal of demerit points isn't necessarily the removal of the sanction, because there's a sanction that comes to you in the act, not just in the 9th schedule. So you could eliminate all the demerit points in the 9th schedule. There is still the law inside of the Parent Act that allows a sanction to come. But one of the main motivating reasons for amending Section 20 of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act to make the road user conditional upon the driver's license and the vehicle registration, we moved offences to fixed penalties and demerit points. And therefore, we stopped having to send 104,000 cases to the magistrates court every year.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to know, why is it that the opposition wants the demerit points to stay. Why? Now, I am going to play a video for you, and I want you all to listen carefully. This Maximan got 3 demerit points. For what? Now, listen to this video.
In Arima, saying that the name is too dark for him to see through. He's saying the name is too dark for him to see through. Take the machine and put it at the inside of the bus, and then saying it is too dark. Now look at this front glass, TNT. Look at this front glass and look at the tickets here. Look at the tickets here. Will you see anything wrong with that? The front glass is clear. The front glass is clear. He already went license officer. The bus passed with this name. Do an inspection. I have the inspection certificate. So I could prove that in court based on the time I get the ticket and based on when I do the inspection. Watch that. Right now, license office fed up with it. 2 tickets, 3 demerit points. Watch that. Mr. Philip.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, 3 demerit points he got. For what? What was the purpose of the demerit point? Could any police officer or license officer or lawyer who is looking at the show presently call in and explain the demerit point? Why it is that Al-Rawi wants the demerit point system to remain? Why it is Penelope Beckers wants the demerit point to remain? Why? Who is making money? This I want to know now. Who is making money? Because I'll tell you something. When you get a demerit point and your license, the court suspend your license, are you going to licensing office to pay $2,500 or $1,500, however the case may be, take back your license? Are you going to a license office itself, or are you going to an entity outside of license office? Why is it that the opposition wants the demerit point system to remain? My question is, somebody getting a cut somewhere? This is my question. Is somebody making money on the side? This is what I had to ask. They're pushing to keep the demerit point system. I believe when I speak of the house, Christine said she lost her brother and her sister in an accident. But the demerit point caused the accident? No, reckless driving did. What about the individuals? The president, my mistake, I do apologize for that. What caused the accident? Was it the demerit point? Could the demerit point save their lives? Over the weekend, I believe there was an accident. Some on the highway, 4 persons died. Did the demerit point fix anything there? No, it's reckless driving caused that. All over Trinidad and Tobago, accident is caused by some way. Somebody stopped sudden, somebody break a light, reckless driving, drunk driving. They're all forms of accident. But is the demerit point system helping it? This is what I want to ask Al-Rawi and Beckles and Marvin Gonzalez. That maxi driver you saw just now said he got 3 demerit points. 3 demerit points for exactly what? Could the police officer himself explain to Trinidad and Tobago why that maxi man got 3 demerit points? We understand he got tickets. No problem. But what the demerit points covers? What? What does it cover? Like I said, I got 3 demerit point. 3 demerit point by Price Plaza. 2 lane heading north. A police officer say I illegally overtake on the left when the 2-lane heading north, and I get 3 demerit point for that. You tell me in God created world so beautiful, how the officer could be so stupid and dotage at the same time? What did I get the demerit point for? And on top of that now, I still had to go and pay $1,000 ticket. So my question now is the persons that pushing for the demerit point system to stay, are they getting a cut out of the money that when the individual license suspended, and they had to go and pay now $1,500 or $2,500? Is somebody getting a cut other than that entity? Because somebody is begging for the demerit point system to stay. Why? It is saving nobody's life. It is teaching the drivers nothing. Their license being suspended. They had to leave a permanent work to look for a casual work. Oh, for God and heaven's sake. Who is getting a cut on the side? This is what I want to know. Because you just heard on TV, you saw through a maxi taxi. You're seeing the seat way down on the back. But that driver got 3 demerit point. For what could the officer who gave the driver that ticket, forget about the ticket, could you tell the driver why he got 3 demerit points? You can't explain it. I got 3 demerit points for 2-lane heading north. Imagine that. I correct. 2 lanes, you could interchange any lane. But I get a ticket from a stupid officer. Apparently he know from A to Z. Illegally overtaken on the left when the 2-lane could interchange. I get 3 demerit point for being correct. Does the demerit point save lives on the road? Does it help drivers? No, it don't. The only thing it do is the driver's license gets suspended, and you had to go by entity outside of license office, not connected to license office, to get back your driver's permit. So it makes no sense. It is just a burden on the citizens. Just a burden on the citizens. How many thousands of individuals got their license suspended? For a blow bulb? For a horn? For the maxi man you see straight through the maxi? So unless there's proof that the demerit point is actually helping people, the opposition keep all their mouth shut. Unless they're getting a cut from the outside entity. I don't know, you know. I don't know, because to me the demerit point system is serving no purpose. None. It's just a money-making thing for an entity. So my next question is now, is license office making money from that? So for Penelope, for Al-Rawi, and for Marvin Gonzalez, is that money going to licensing department to better Trinidad and Tobago? Ask all yourself that. So listen now, Marvin Gonzalez, standing against the UNC government, campaigning promise to remove the demerit point system, former Minister of Public Utilities and National Security, Marvin Gonzalez, have said the system introduced under the PNM serves as a critical tool to deter reckless driving and save lives. How does the demerit point system save lives? How does that help reckless driving? How? He asked, why would someone be so opposed to a demerit point? Marvin, what does the demerit point system do for Trinidad and Tobago and the drivers? Come out and tell Trinidad and Tobago. Now he's saying that it was a simple system that tracked the behavior of drivers on the road. He explained that drivers accumulate demerit point when they commit traffic violation, such as driving under influence or reckless driving. Marvin, don't be a clown now. Listen to Marvin.
Why would someone be so opposed to a demerit point system? Some people regard it as very punitive, and what have you. What is the demerit point system? It's a simple system that tracks the behavior of a driver on the road. So, if you commit a road traffic violation, DUI, driving without your seatbelts, dangerous and reckless driving, you have the prescribed amount of demerit points that once you pay your fixed penalty ticket, the points are placed on your record in order to track the behavior of the driver. So much so that if you accumulate certain amounts of demerit points over a 3-year period, you are written to by the licensing division and you are warned that you are approaching the 12 points or 9 points threshold, and if you cross it, you are asked to participate in a driver's rehabilitation program.
Okay, Marvin, who does the regulation belong to? Is it a private entity outside or is it licensing department? Who is making money from the demerit point system? Points are lodged at a fixed penalty. A fixed penalty is paid and receive enough points over a 3-year period, triggers warning and eventually a mandate driver rehabilitation program. Who gives out this program? Is it a licensing department giving out this program or a private entity, Marvin? And why is it that you all pushing for this point system to stay? Marvin said, there are persons in this country driving around with 200 demerit points on their record because it's nonsense. Listen to Marvin.
Simple as that. A driver's rehabilitation program. 2 or 3 years after the demerit point system was introduced in Trinidad and Tobago, the statistics were very staggering. Staggering because it is unimaginable that in this country you have people driving on our roads with over 200 demerit points. And you have to ask yourself, do we feel safe as citizens? Forget about us being politicians, members of parliament, policymakers, and what have you. How do we feel as a citizen driving on our roads when you have fellow drivers with over 200 demerit points on their driving records? 200 demerit points on your driving records suggest that almost every week you're committing serious traffic violations, and it determines whether or not you are a safe driver to be on our roads.
So Marvin, getting ticket for a tint and accumulating 3 demerit point is dangerous driving. Getting 3 demerit point for a blow park light, that's dangerous driving. Getting probably about 5 or 6 demerit point for not wearing a seat belt, is that reckless driving? I'm asking you. I am asking you, Marvin, on a live national program in Trinidad and Tobago, does this lead to reckless driving? Does it? If Trinidad and Tobago calling you a clown, Marvin, do not show them that you are a clown. I got 3 demerit point for being on the correct lane heading north, 2 lanes. I got 3 demerit point. Marvin, was I driving reckless? Marvin, was I driving reckless? 2 lane headed north. I moved from the right lane to go to the left lane, and I got picked up by a police for 3 demerit points while the 2 lane headed north. Is that reckless driving, Marvin? Where did the demerit point help me there? You just heard a Maximan on a video. Got 3 demerit point. For what exactly? For what exactly, Marvin? Is it the easy thing? All of this Oh, we good, we nice. Waste a damn time. No. Gonzalez said that to revoke the demerit point system is telling the country we are going back to the dark and dangerous days of 300 road fatality a year. Marvin, don't be our next clown again on the next side now, boy. You're tired, let down yourself. Listen to Marvin.
The UNC now is telling the people of this country, coming out of a campaign promise, that this system is not good. It should be cancelled because it is populist. It will be attractive to people when they hear it. And without, as in UNC style, any proposal to ensure that we have safer roads in this country. And I'm saying here this morning, warning the government that whilst we are not seeing as a PNM opposition that the demerit point system is perfect, we do not have any perfect system. And perhaps we can identify ways in which we can improve the system. But to catch blood, revoke the demerit point system in this country, it is telling this country we are going back to the dark and dangerous days of over 250 and 300 road fatalities in this country.
Marvin, again, how does the demerit point system help Trinidad and Tobago other than an entity making 1,500 or 2,500? Tell me, Marvin. Tell me. Tell Trinidad and Tobago, how did the demerit point system, how did that help me? How did it help me, Marvin? I got into an incident. Price Plaza before Medford flyover. 2 lanes heading north. Illegally overtaken on the left, the officers say. I want to know if the officer just fall from the sky just with no education. No education. And on top of that, I got $1,000 ticket. On top of that, I got 3 demerit point system. So how the hell did that help me? I got set up. Doing the correct thing, Marvin, I got 3 demerit point. So for me, like I'm gonna strap the whole damn system. For the Maximan, pull back the Maximan video. All of listen to this Trinidad and Tobago. Listen it. Somebody send this for Marvin Gonzalez. You can't be stupid and dotish at the same time. You can't. Is either you're stupid or you're dotish. 1 out of the 2. Listen to this now.
In Arima, saying that the name is too dark for him to see through. He's saying the name is too dark for him to see through. Take the machine and put it at the inside of the bus. And then saying it is too dark. Now look at this front glass, TNT. Look at this front glass and look at the tickets here. Look at the tickets here. Will you see anything wrong with that? The front glass is clear. The front glass is clear. He already went license officer. The bus passed with this name. Do an inspection. I have the inspection certificate. So I could prove that in court. Based on the time I got the ticket and based on when I do the inspection. Watch that. Right now, license office fed up with it. 2 tickets, 3 demerit points. Watch that.
3 demerit point for what exactly? Marvin, what did he do? Was he driving careless? So my only question now, since you all pushing for the demerit point system to stay, and people, they are not going into license office to get back their driver's permit. Who is making money, Marvin? Al-Rawi, who is making money? Penelope, who is making money? Why is it that you all pushing for a system that people complaining about? Maybe I had to get a ticket. Just to show how easy demerit points could be accrued. Imagine you're going on the highway, heading Port of Spain, interchanging lane, police stop you, give you a ticket for illegally overtaking on the left, and you get 3 demerit point. Imagine that. It's sucks, ain't? So let Marvin now, Al-Rawi and Penelope now bring evidence that the demerit point system is helping Trinidad and Tobago, because there are still accidents. There are still careless drivers. You can't do anything about it. Or there are drivers with 200 demerit point in Trinidad and Tobago. We have people working with illegal firearm and use the Minister of National Security, and you can't say nothing. You can't even fix the problem. My question is, somebody getting a cut? Is somebody making dollars in the pocket? That is my question. That is my question. Who is making big bucks from this? So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to hear the opposition attacking, or the attacks, stand your ground legislation following Florida's model after this.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Una Caribbean Insurance will be at Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited this Thursday, the 5th of June, 2025. Join us at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and secure your family's future with our Family Indemnity Plan. Our dedicated team will help you find the perfect coverage. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
So welcome back to Real Talk viewers. Before I go any further, I must say, Real Talk Financing viewers is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit. Remember that we are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you 5% and your interest up front. It doesn't matter how much you invest, viewers. Once it's 5 years and over, you're getting your interest up front. Remember that. Call our office, set up an appointment, viewers. Meet with the staff. You can contact me also for more information. Remember, like I said, I'm in the finance business for almost 30 years now, and what I bring to the table is something that no other financial institution can give you. Check it up yourself, just to make sure. Opposition Leader Penelope Beckles has expressed uncertainty as it pertains to the Stand Your Ground legislation the government plans to implement following Florida's framework. At a post-cabinet briefing on May 29, Prime Minister Dr. Kamala Prasad Bisesa announced the proposed legislation may have similar traits to Florida's model. However, according to Beckles, who was speaking at a media briefing on Tuesday, a study by the Oxford University shows that the law may be for more harm than good. Listen to this.
The introduction in 2005 of the Stand Your Ground legislation, laws in Florida have been linked to a 24% increase in homicides and a 31% rise in homicides involving firearms, with the largest proportional increase occurring in the 20 to 34 age group, according to a study, as I indicated, by the Oxford University. At this point in time, Florida ranks 22nd in the United States for gun homicide and gun assault rates. On average, 3,038 people die and 6,358 are injured by gun violence in Florida each year.
So now, Beckles, we in Trinidad are on number 6. Most crime. Most crime. We are number 6. So don't talk about Florida. Florida have about 30 million people. We only have 1.45 million people, and we are number 6 on the list. Keep that in mind. Now, listen. Did you give the statistics of how many people were injured in people property? That is what you should have bring forward. How many people were gunned down or got shot at inside people property? So when they bring in their statistics, bring it good. Nothing wrong with that. Now viewers, despite the fact there is need to question how much of the said percentage was in self-defense, she said the main issue remains the lack of clarity on the policy details, as she spoke against adopting a framework suited for Florida unique crime context without proper adoption. Hold on, Director, hold on. Remember Trinidad and Tobago, when our Prime Minister was taking our agriculture model to carry Guyana? Agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago is, let me tell you something, it's like it under the white line on the road, but they want to take our model to carry it to Guyana. What a shame. Listen to this video.
The situation or the policy as it relates to Florida, where you are not just your home, but you're extending it out into the public. And we know the gang violence, we know everything that occurs. Our issue is, do you have a document? Do you have a policy? Because if you simply say, stand your ground, right, and you don't say more. You don't say, okay, is it going to be a system? Are you going to use the Florida model? Because you don't have that in all. It's not there in all the states in the United States. Florida is one of the strongest ones because of the crime situation that has happened there. I mean, is that applicable to Trinidad? So our position is, and I have made it very clear when I spoke on the first day, having accepted my my instrument of the willingness to collaborate. Right. So that I am saying that we see the policy, but most important for us would be the issue of consultation.
Because when short man in the Senate, Clongenberg, used to quote policies from all over the world, you know you never had a problem. The PNM administration never had a problem. But now, Kamala using Florida's model, all of a sudden is a problem. Give jackets. All the time Clongenberg using policy from here and policy from there, and this country doing it, and that country doing it. So, now it's Kamala time is a problem. But nevertheless, stand your ground is it. I say so. Meanwhile, Faris Al-Rawi cited the need for closer consideration of how different our society is from the United States. Faris Clongenberg should have realized that long time. Rowley should have realized that long time. You should have realized that long time. Rohan Sinanan should have realized that long time. But listen to this video.
Take San Fernando West. 25,000 registered people to vote. 11,500 live in HTC communities. And 3,500 live in squatting. So what's your ground? Will there be any quality of treatment? You must remember in the United States of America, things like property tax identify every single piece of land. It's owned, it's paid for, it's measured. There are rights and covenants. You don't cut your grass, the city intervenes and does it for you and you pay for it. But what is your ground in Trinidad and Tobago? The leader of the opposition has plainly said that we must see the policy behind this, and that our position as to whether we stand for or against this law is to be examined reasonably dependent upon the policy and the prescription.
Senior Counsel Keith Scotland emphasized on the Castle Doctrine, but said he has yet to identify the specific mischief that the new law seeks to remedy. And Keith Scotland is a lawyer. Before he joined political party, and he was fighting criminal cases, so criminal could be outside on the streets. Keith, you forgot where you came from. The Castle Doctrine is a legal principle that allows individuals to use force, including deadly force and self-defense, within their home or property without a duty to retreat. Listen to this.
We think that the common law, along with the statute, gives an adequate protection now for persons who are under attack in their homes. The government has said they will present a policy on it. We are not aware of that policy. That policy has not been communicated to the opposition, it's not been communicated to the country. So we will await that policy to see what is the jurisprudential underpinnings, what informs it, if they have looked at the common law to see if the common law is correct, if there's a mischief that they want to cure. But until such time, the common law provides adequate protection for persons who are under attack in their property.
Trinidad and Tobago, anybody ever see this man riding to work on his bicycle as he had dressed up in a suit? Because he said he could use his bicycle to go to work. Not one day I see that. Not one day I saw that. But nevertheless, we will leave that day. Former Minister of Finance, Clongenberg, have stated that the stand your ground law will not be the killing of bad guys, but said studies shown that there will be an increase in murders and unlawful killing. Listen to this.
The reporter from the Newsday made a statement that the increase in homicides from stand your ground laws may be the killing of the bad guys. I'm afraid not. The studies show it's an increase in murders, which is unlawful killing. So go and check it yourself.
Like a rhetorical question.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, if you check it out, you will see it's an increase in murders. And this is based on studies going back 20 years.
All right, so Klangenbert, Trinidad and Tobago didn't have to go back 20 years. We go back to right 2024, right there, right last year, 600 killings. Say something about that now. We don't have to go back 20 years. We're going right to 2024. We're in the year 2025, we're going to 2024. We don't have a stand your ground policies, but home invasion is one of the key factors in Trinidad and Tobago that was taking place. Yeah? We have murder, probably about 600 murder last year in 2024. And we don't have stand your ground policies. Imagine that. So you don't have to go back 20 years backward. Go right in 2024. The year before 2025. We're presently in 2025. Get your cards right. Now, meanwhile, opposition leader Penelope Beckles believes that there should be a consultation on the stand your ground laws before she can support it. Listen to this.
My main statement was the issue of consultation. And I did say that I believe that this is one of the issues that there should be consultation. And yes, there are, whilst I've been going out in the public domain, people have raised the concern. Now, I also made the point that about the consciousness of the opposition on the issue of crime. I mean, one of the reasons why this was raised is because a lot of people feel unsafe in their homes. So we cannot deny the fact that that is in the public domain, that people feel the issue of issuing of gun license, the kind of money you have to invest in terms of putting up cameras. I mean, you know, wherever you live in communities, if people can afford it, I mean, there's security. So it's a real issue.
I love to hear Penny talk. Penny talking with sense. But I want Penny to understand that the former administration, which was the PNM, they didn't do anything much in 9 years to better Trinidad and Tobago. Hines said, it is not my job to make all of you feel safe. I want Penny to remember that. I want Kate Scotland to remember that also. I want them to remember that. Now, speaking on the scrapping of the TTRA, it was stated that this was a reckless move, and studies shows that the TTRA, which is the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority, will help with the creation of revenue. Listen to this.
With respect to the TTRA, there are many, many studies on this. And the whole point of the TTRA is to increase revenue and to cut out tax evasion. There are many, many studies worldwide and in Trinidad and Tobago. Several experts came to study our situation and determined, just in the case of value-added tax alone, that the evasion of tax payments with respect to value-added tax was in the region of $5 billion a year. So the tax gap, as it is called, which is the amount of tax that you should be collecting lawfully using your existing laws without changing anything, has been estimated to as much as $10 billion a year. So if the new government wants to scrap it, fine. They will have to find another way to find the revenue that we need, because we have been running deficit budgets for years to promote development, to promote economic growth and so on. That's the primary purpose of our deficit budget, to keep economic momentum and to drive economic growth. And therefore, if the new government decides it doesn't want to go ahead with the TTRA, then they can say goodbye to $5 billion in additional revenue, which is desperately needed. So these sorts of actions, in my view, are just reckless.
heard when he said evading tax? Let me just remind you all, Trinidad and Tobago, before I go further. Colin Burt was the individual who brought the legislations and amendment to Parliament to make sure that multi-story dwelling apartment owners don't pay property tax, including him. But what he did, he also brought legislation and amendment to Parliament to bully you that if you do not pay your property tax, you will be committing a criminal offense, and your criminal offense charge is $5,000. That is what you call bullying. He bullied you from the government office. He invaded tax from the government office. How did he do it? He did it the legal way, by bringing legislation to pass in Parliament that multi-story dwelling apartment owners don't have to pay property tax. Who does it include? Himself. All forgetting Trinidad and Tobago. So the PNM people too. The PNM people also. You were bullied into paying property tax. And if you don't pay it, you have to pay $5,000. Who it come from? Clogging boat. All forget what? When all of them doing like this. Yay! But you didn't realize if you miss payment, they come in to seize your house, even though you support PNM. How quickly we forgot. But nevertheless, I am here to remind all you. Similar like property tax, Ember noted that this was to finance local government infrastructure, and if the government choose to give a property tax, they must find another way to finance corporation. Hold on. Property tax going to finance corporation, right? To clean the community. What happened to the allocation that was coming from the government before property tax? Where did all that money go? And on top of that, $135 million. $135 million since last year, and the corporation haven't received a penny to this date. September last year. So here they say September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Look, we're in June. 10 months down the road, and the corporation hasn't received a penny from $135 million that was collected through property tax. What are they waiting on? But nevertheless, all they had to wait again. Forget that. Listen to this video.
Similarly, with respect to property tax, it used to be called land and building taxes. It has a purpose. It is to finance local government infrastructure. It has always been so. The cities always collected property tax. The city of Port of Spain, the city of San Fernando, they called it house rates. That was just a different name. And it was used for the development of the cities. So if the new government wants to give up that, fine. They will have to find another source. I heard them say they will finance local government bodies in another way. I would love to see how they're doing that, because they also said they're cutting taxes. But when you look at their promises, it's all about reducing revenue and increasing expenditure. How are you going to balance the budget doing that? I would like to see.
Clongenbert, I want you to keep in mind that the Privy Council in England wants to know why is it that the police ain't investigate you as yet? And when Parliament starts, I want the present Minister of Finance or the Prime Minister to lay the findings of the Auditors General in the House of Representatives, in the chamber, in the parliament. Let Trinidad and Tobago find out what Jaiwanti Ramdas finds. This is what I want. Laid in parliament, the Auditor General reports of the 2.5 or the 2.6 billion dollars that went missing. I want the Minister of Finance from the UNC. I want the Prime Minister of the UNC to lay the findings in Parliament. Let Trinidad and Tobago see exactly what the Auditor General Office found. That is what I want to see. And that is what I want to go public. So I believe it's Tanku is the Minister of Finance. I hope he does that very soon. Moving along, viewers. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service received a new fleet of vehicles on Tuesday. Speaking at the handover ceremony at the police barracks in St. James, Acting Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin has assured a comprehensive system for the maintenance and upkeep of 67 new RAV4 vehicles for the TTPS will be implemented. Look at this.
Just under 23 million that it costs, and based on that, we would have engaged the Toyota company to ensure that they give us the vehicles that we needed.
Top Cop reiterated that this new vehicle will serve the country good, as some will be assigned to the Emergency Rapid Patrol, that is the ERP, the unit to help in the present time of crime.
With the deployment of these vehicles, we hope to improve, one, the emergency response efficiency of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We want to increase as well the patrol coverage, especially in underserved areas. We want to enhance officers' safety and operational capabilities, and also we want to ensure that we build greater confidence among the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Let it be clear, these vehicles will not sit idly by.
Caller, good night. Hello?
Hi, good night, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead, you're live, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Firstly, this thing with the property tax code, people went and paid that thing out of fear for getting a charge of $5,000.
Correct.
Because now this is without prejudice to anything that the Honorable Prime Minister has said, or not said, or done, or not done. This is entirely without prejudice. But this PLM, that man, that inbird, was threatening people. And if you don't go and pay this, you will get a fine for $5,000. You will get the police coming by your house. Nobody wanted that. And that's why many of us opted to go and pay that little money just to keep these wicked people and them from the valuation division to come by the house and see we had Jandi, see we had dog house, see we have Kutia, see all your business, where you have air condition, where you have toilet, where you have whatever.
Yes.
It's just a matter of keeping them away. So that $135 million is how the PNM does stealing people from money from people. They're too wicked. Now let's sit down there and they're talking about $5 billion in revenue and that kind of thing. Nonsense. Burn them. Yeah, man. These police and them will get robbed. Mr. Saieed, a rob is $350,000. You need to commit that crime now because you want to ride in your rob. You understand? While the RAB is a good vehicle, I have no problem. I understand the fellas and I want a little air condition and this and that and the other. Yeah. But God help us. You see how they mashing up cars? They mashing up cars willy-nilly, Hilux, motorcycle. Mr. Saieed, what I would like, if I may humbly request your program, Mr. Saieed, start from the fire brigade station there by the walkover there by the Nagar. See how much fire brigade crash.
Yes.
Mr. Saieed, fire brigade crashing, them running down thieves. How them let crash? Go in the police station, barrack 4, and see how much vehicle they put vehicle in the ground, they put vehicle inside, they put vehicle on the roof.
Correct.
All been mashed up. What is being done about this eyesore of these crash vehicles, Mr. Said? Don't you ambulance and boat them for that mash up, you know? And we need to see what will happen to them rapidly. People are only going to mash it up. Let me give all the grocery cap to run down keep and only give me the rap. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, meanwhile, Minister of National Security, Roger Alexander, made a call to citizens and police officers to do their part in law enforcement. Listen to this.
Your role and function now is to assist law enforcement in any way you can. Law enforcement officers, patrol enforcement is important. You can drive all day, all night. Without enforcement, you are just another vehicle on the road. And we don't want that. We want law enforcement officers to enforce the law at all times.
So viewers, we have a few minutes left on our program tonight, but I want to let the listeners in less than 3 months, Aruka Lopino MP Marvin Gonzalez has been Minister of Public Utilities, Minister of National Security, Opposition Chief Whip in the House of Representatives, and now a well-positioned nominee to become the PNM chairman. However, he tried his political rise to a deep desire to serve the public and to see good governance in Trinidad and Tobago. Gonzalez said that was exactly what he had done as MP, his constituency, and as minister, but when asked if he had been lucky as a security minister, he did not cite any luck. He also believes that Trinidad and Tobago is better off with the PNM being in government, which is the reason why I have given my commitment to serve the party. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, let me just remind you all what Marvin Gonzalez told you, being Minister of Public Utilities. Listen to this.
And even within our own homes, we may have to call our homes and our families together around a table and say, you know what? We can no longer afford to go to the movies twice a week or 3 times a week. We may not be able to bake ham every month or make macaroni pie. We may have to cut back because we may have to reapportion some of the scarce resources to other important things. And sometimes our children may scream at us and they might throw themselves into tantrum. And they may even throw shoes at us and break glasses. But that child, that young boy and that young girl must have no doubt in their minds.
Trinidad and Tobago, that is what Marvin Gonzalez told you all. Now I want you to understand this. While he is telling you, you have to carry out your child 1 time for the week, Marvin Gonzalez was one of 900 high-ranking individuals got a salary increase. While you pay taxes for better road, did we see it? No, we didn't see it. But nevertheless, our time is up for tonight. But viewers, there's a rerun of this program tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. We'll be right back here another night for another live show with Saeed. Until, good night.